how you guys doing? What's going on? I just want to say thank you all for liking, sharing, and subscribing to this YouTube channel. I came across a video. You guys know we love to react here, and it's of Tyler. You know, I think she's so gorgeous. She's so petite and small. I love it. I love it. I love it. Very feminine. But a lot of people have been saying she's been acting weird. You know, she was at that Met Gala. She made a video about Rihanna, which I felt like it was just bad taste. I don't know what she was doing. And how she communicates, it's like, I don't get it. It's like she's not an adult. And all that shit. Girl, if you just don't talk direct and plain. But people are saying that it's more to the story behind this girl and Rihanna. You know, they have been getting compared a lot. So I want you guys to watch this video. I'm curious to see how you guys feel about these two. So let's watch it. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And I just want to say thank you all for liking and sharing here at this YouTube channel. So let's see what's going on, y'all.
All of y'all my bad pay. Y'all make enough money off of me.
Rihanna was like, I just wanted to be her.
So my parents were like, be realistic. Like, you need to work. This can be a side hobby.
This drama between Tyla and Rihanna just took a wild turn. And trust me, this goes way beyond music. It's about influence, image, and who really controls the global pop spotlight. Tyla is finally opening up in ways that fans think sound super shady, hinting that Rihanna's huge presence may have slowed her own rise. Now people online are convinced the tension between them is real. Ooh, make me sweat, make me holler, make me lose my breath with all this chaos. But before we get deeper into this situation, let's set the scene. Because this isn't just Tyla versus Rihanna. This is about an entire industry moving pieces behind the scenes with both of their careers. And we about 5 seconds from Wild in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you've been watching closely, Tyla exploded onto the scene after Water went viral on TikTok in 2023. That track didn't just trend. It landed on the Billboard Hot 100 and earned her a Grammy for Best African Music Performance. Overnight, she became South Africa's new global pop star. But here's where things started getting complicated. Pics like this had people roasting Tyla online, saying she looked way too similar to Rihanna's older style. And the internet wasted no time turning it into a huge debate. People called her a copycat, an industry favorite, and even claimed her team was following Rihanna's blueprint step by step. But Tyla didn't just stay quiet and let the comments slide. Early on, she made her position clear. Rihanna is Rihanna. It's a compliment. But at the same time, I'm my own artist. I'm Tyla, and I know as people get to know me and my music, they will see me as just Tyla. That may sound respectful, but fans felt there was a deeper message hidden in there. Almost like she was saying, stop comparing me to Rihanna all the time. I have my own lane. Then things got even more intense when Tyla posted about people secretly recording her conversations.
There's two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
Fans instantly started connecting theories and reading between the lines. She said, talking to me while secretly recording is so weird. I can see the lens, baby. That post had social media spinning with speculation about who she was really talking about. And Rihanna wasn't completely left out of the conversation either. Around that same time, Rihanna shared one of her mysterious Instagram quotes, "No formed negativity against me shall prosper." She could have been talking about anyone, honestly. But once people started paying attention to how Epic Records was promoting Tyla, the conversation got even bigger. Fans began wondering if Rihanna's lack of public support was quietly affecting Tyla's momentum in the industry. From the massive success of Water to all the Rihanna comparison talk, the subtle online moments, and whispers about industry politics, this story has people completely hooked. By the end of it all, many fans became convinced Rihanna didn't want Tyla stepping too far into her space at the top of pop culture. When Tyla released Water in 2023, nobody expected it to explode worldwide the way it did. The song blended amapiano, R&B, and Afro beats in a way that instantly grabbed attention. But the music wasn't the only reason it went viral. The performance helped push it everywhere online. Tyla and her choreographer posted that TikTok clip where she slid across the floor, poured water on herself, and performed that Bacardi-inspired dance move. Pop, pop, pop. Within weeks, the challenge was all over social media, and Tyla went from a rising Southern African artist to an international sensation almost overnight. The song eventually broke into the Billboard Hot 100 Top 10, reaching number 7 in January 2024. On top of that, Tyla made history by winning the very first Grammy Award for Best African Music Performance. And just like that, Tyla became one of the biggest faces of African pop on the global stage. But success that fast always brings extra attention. And that's when the Rihanna comparisons really started pouring in. It wasn't just because Tyla was young, stylish, and wearing high fashion looks. People felt her entire rollout seemed very familiar. The confidence, the glamorous red carpet moments, the signature hair flips. Fans quickly pointed out that Rihanna had already created a similar lane years earlier. One viral post on X even joked, "What did a good girl gone wrong is going on here? Now she's in a new Rihanna era? I'm sorry, but if I was Rihanna, I would genuinely be annoyed and taken aback." Tyla needs to find her own identity immediately. And honestly, people understood why the comparisons kept growing. Rihanna built her image as the cool Caribbean star from Barbados with huge crossover appeal, while Tyla arrived as the cool South African star bringing a similar global energy. Even the industry support had fans talking. Rihanna had Jay-Z and Def Jam behind her rise, while Tyla has Epic Records investing heavily into online promo campaigns to keep her everywhere people look. Industry watchers also started paying attention to the label strategy. Some claimed Epic Records had been heavily pushing Tyla across TikTok and X since 2022, helping her music spread online before many people even knew her name. Her single, Been Thinking, suddenly started appearing all over timelines. And then the same massive push followed Water. And this time, it completely exploded worldwide. People who had never even searched Tyla's name were suddenly seeing her content everywhere. And that's why critics started throwing around the industry favorite label. But here's where things get really interesting. Normally, being compared to Rihanna is seen as a huge compliment. It places you in elite pop star territory. But for Tyla, those comparisons are starting to feel more complicated. Tyla has openly said she looked up to Rihanna because she rarely saw non-American artists become global superstars. In an interview magazine feature, she shared, "I do remember loving the story of Rihanna because she came from outside of America. It made me feel like my dream was achievable because, like you said, it's not something that happens every day for us." At the same time, Tyla clearly wants people to recognize her for who she is, not just as another version of Rihanna. She told Cosmopolitan, "But at the same time, I'm my own artist. I'm Tyla. And I know as people get to know me and my music, they will see me as just Tyla." Fans took that as her saying, "Stop calling me the next Rihanna. I want my own identity." Still, many people can't ignore how similar their career journeys appear. Some fans even think the similarities are completely intentional because of how Tyla is being presented at major fashion events. At the 2024 Met Gala, she stunned everyone in a custom Balmain sand-inspired dress that instantly became one of the night's biggest talking points. Then, at the MTV EMAs, she switched things up with a vintage Roberto Cavalli look that gave off that same bold, confident energy Rihanna became famous for on red carpets. So when Anna Wintour personally selected Tyla for the 2026 Met Gala host committee, social media immediately started running with one headline: Rihanna 2.0 has arrived. But here's the issue. Being called the next Rihanna comes with a lot of pressure. If people start feeling like Tyla is stepping into Rihanna's lane too closely, the atmosphere can get awkward very fast. And Rihanna has never been someone who stays silent when it comes to protecting the brand and image she built over the years. That's when all the online speculation started heating up. Some fans wondered if Rihanna was irritated by the non-stop comparisons or if she saw Tyla as real competition in the pop world. Many even linked Rihanna's cryptic post, "No formed negativity against me shall prosper," to the situation, believing it was a subtle message aimed at all the chatter surrounding Tyla. But before people started picking sides, others pointed out how strongly the industry kept pushing this storyline. Fans noticed similarities in the styling, marketing, and rollout strategy around Tyla's rise, which made many believe the comparisons weren't happening by accident. Some of Tyla's looks even had fans bringing up Rihanna lyrics like, "Come, Mr. DJ, come pound the replay," and "SOS, please somebody help me. Yeah, yeah." The similarities became a huge topic online, and what started as flattering comparisons slowly turned into a full-on debate across social media. Rihanna has been at the top long enough to recognize when the industry starts introducing a new superstar narrative. She's seen labels and bloggers hype up fresh faces before, but fans believe this situation felt more intense because the comparisons just kept growing louder. That's why Rihanna's mysterious quote post had everyone talking again. "No formed negativity against me shall prosper." I laugh in the face of those who think otherwise. Fans immediately started connecting the dots. To many people online, this didn't feel like just a random inspirational quote. They saw it as Rihanna reminding everyone that her place in pop culture is solid and hard to challenge. One fan wrote, "I don't think Tyla's struggles are her fault. It's the people around her and the nonstop comparisons that made things messy." Another added, "People keep saying Tyla copies Rihanna's style and energy, and that's why the internet keeps debating her every move." Social media quickly turned the whole situation into a non-stop argument. But here's what made things even more complicated. Tyla seemed to be balancing both admiration and frustration at the same time. On one side, she constantly praised Rihanna in interviews. She told British Vogue, "Coming from somewhere outside the States, I really looked up to her. She made me realize there's another way." At the same time, fans noticed her tone becoming a little firmer whenever the comparisons came up. She said, "Rihanna is Rihanna, but I'm my own artist. People will see me as Tyla." Even though it sounded respectful, people online still believed there was hidden frustration behind those words. Then there was that post where Tyla complained about someone secretly recording her conversations. Fans immediately started creating theories, with some wondering if she was talking about industry insiders trying to catch her in awkward moments. Whether true or not, it only added more attention to the rumors of tension happening behind the scenes. And people also can't ignore the business side of all this. Rihanna isn't just a music icon anymore. She's a billionaire entrepreneur with Fenty, Savage x Fenty, major fashion influence, and an untouchable reputation in entertainment. On top of that, she's balancing family life while still staying one of the most powerful names in pop culture. So if Tyla's rise even slightly affects Rihanna's position in the industry, fans believe there could naturally be quiet competition behind the scenes. Record labels, fashion brands, and media executives all understand how much influence Rihanna has built over the years. That's why some people online think the situation may be bigger than simple fan comparisons. Now, fans are speculating that the tension might not just be personal. They think it could also be business-related. People have pointed out that Tyla still hasn't landed certain huge collaborations despite her massive success. No Drake feature, no Beyoncé cosign, and no Rihanna duet. For an artist with a Grammy-winning viral hit, some fans find that surprising. Because of that, theories started spreading online about whether major industry players are being cautious about how quickly Tyla rises. Of course, nobody knows what's really happening behind closed doors, but fans love connecting clues and building their own narratives around pop stars. People also bring up how competitive the entertainment world has always been. An old 2005 clip from Rihanna's appearance on the Tyra Banks show resurfaced again, where Rihanna joked about Jay-Z telling her, "There are two ways to leave here, either through the door or the deals signed, or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor." That moment stayed memorable for many fans because it highlighted how intense industry pressure can feel for rising artists. And now, with Tyla constantly being labeled Rihanna 2.0, people online keep wondering whether the industry is intentionally creating rivalry between them to keep the conversation alive. But before people start throwing around claims about industry politics, there's another conversation fans keep having. How carefully Tyla's image has been built from her style to her sound and even the way her label promotes her. Once people noticed the pattern, many started saying the rollout looked very similar to Rihanna's early career path. From the beginning, Tyla didn't rise like a typical independent artist, slowly building momentum on her own. She had major backing early on with Epic Records, helping push her into bigger spaces. By 2022, she still wasn't fully mainstream. Yet her single, Been Thinking, kept appearing all over social media timelines. Fans later claimed that large promo campaigns across TikTok and X helped boost her visibility online, making sure her name stayed in conversations everywhere. That's why some people felt her rise looked extremely polished from the start. Then once water dropped, the rollout became impossible to ignore. Suddenly, every For You page had clips of the dance challenge. Every Explore feed was packed with Tyla videos, and social media users couldn't stop talking about the song. Many people even joked that they never searched her name, yet her content kept appearing non-stop across their feeds. That's also why the Rihanna comparisons became even louder. When Rihanna first broke out with Pon de Replay in 2005, Def Jam and Jay-Z introduced her as a stylish island girl with global crossover appeal. Fans now say Tyla's rollout feels very similar. Rihanna represented Barbados, while Tyla proudly represents South Africa. People also noticed the similarities in their creative teams and career direction. Rihanna had longtime collaborator Melissa Ford helping shape her image, while Tyla has her creative director Thato by her side. Fans believe the strategy is similar too. Start with regional sounds like Amapiano and Afrobeats, then gradually expand fully into global pop once audiences are fully locked in. Even Tyla's fashion journey has reminded fans of Rihanna's early rise. She went from fun, confident performances to huge Met Gala moments almost overnight. From the Balmain sand-inspired dress to the vintage Roberto Cavalli look, and now a spot on the 2026 Met Gala host committee. Fans say the branding strategy feels incredibly polished. But this is where the conversation gets controversial. Some online critics believe major labels saw Tyla as easier to market globally because of her lighter complexion, international appeal, and carefully crafted image. Commentators pointed out that before Tyla, African stars like Thames and Era Star were often presented very differently in the US mainstream space. Others argued Tyla's softer accent, fashion-forward styling, and crossover-friendly image made her more accessible to wider global audiences. Still, many fans pushed back on those claims and pointed out that artists like Thames have already earned huge international success and major collaborations on their own. People also started discussing how quickly Tyla's public image evolved. One moment she was known for playful TikTok dances and fun online clips, and suddenly she was appearing as a glamorous, high-fashion superstar at elite events. Some critics felt her image kept changing, depending on what direction the label wanted to push at the moment. And once those conversations started, the Rihanna comparisons became even harder to avoid. Fans kept saying that if an artist's branding constantly reminds people of another superstar, the internet will keep making those connections no matter what. At the same time, many people imagined how Rihanna might view the whole situation. She understands the entertainment business better than almost anyone. So fans believe she would instantly recognize familiar marketing strategies and rollout patterns. That's why the online speculation around tension between them kept growing louder. For many fans, the conversation isn't just about Tyla copying looks or fashion moments. They believe the bigger discussion is whether the industry is trying to recreate a proven superstar formula all over again. And if Tyla feels stuck under Rihanna's shadow, while Rihanna feels her legacy is constantly being referenced, the situation naturally becomes more complicated behind the scenes. This whole Tyla versus Rihanna conversation really exploded once social media started picking apart every little post and comment. It began with subtle captions, mysterious quotes, and side-eye reactions that fans instantly believed were connected. And online, speculation spreads faster than the music itself. Tyla usually avoids directly calling anyone out, but her interviews often keep the conversation going. In Cosmopolitan, she explained, "People want to tie me to something familiar to them. Cool, but at the end of the day, we're doing something no one's done before, and it can't really be compared to anyone." That line, "we're doing something no one's done before," had fans talking immediately. Some people saw it as Tyla subtly pushing back against all the Rihanna comparisons and trying to separate her own artistry from the non-stop headlines. Meanwhile, Rihanna stayed completely on brand, never mentioning names, but still managing to keep fans guessing. Her Instagram post saying, "No formed negativity against me shall prosper," became a huge topic online. Rihanna's fan base viewed it as their superstar confidently protecting her legacy, while Tyla supporters believed it hinted that Rihanna noticed all the comparisons happening around her. Either way, social media turned it into a massive debate. Some people believed Rihanna was sending indirect shade, while others thought fans were simply overanalyzing a motivational quote. Things got even louder when Cardi B stepped in because she was clearly frustrated by how harshly Tyla was being criticized online. Speaking about the nonstop comparisons, Cardi said, "Every single time I scroll on my TikTok, there's a video of her and people are talking and it's like, God damn, what do you want her to do?" That moment shifted the conversation in a major way. Cardi's comments highlighted how intense fan culture has become, and how quickly young artists get pulled into constant comparison debates. Many people felt she was also calling out the industry for pushing Tyla into a situation where she could never fully escape Rihanna comparisons no matter what she did. And of course, social media did what it always does, turn simple comparisons into a full-blown online battle. Some people accused Tyla of leaning too heavily into Rihanna-inspired fashion and energy, while others argued Rihanna fans were being unfair because Tyla is simply enjoying a huge moment right now in music and fashion. One comment read, "Tyla's whole brand feels heavily inspired by Rihanna's early era." Another person wrote, "I actually respect that Tyla keeps naming Rihanna as an inspiration instead of getting defensive. That shows confidence." The internet quickly split into different sides, and the debate just kept getting louder. What started as harmless comparisons slowly transformed into rumors about competition, tension, and possible industry politics. And that's what made the situation so fascinating to fans online. People weren't just discussing style anymore. They started wondering how these conversations could affect Tyla's future opportunities. In entertainment, public narratives can influence everything from brand deals to collaborations and fashion partnerships. That's why some fans began speculating that if powerful people in the industry strongly associate Tyla with Rihanna, it could make it harder for her to fully establish her own separate identity. At the same time, Tyla keeps emphasizing her individuality in interviews because she clearly wants audiences to focus on her own artistry instead of non-stop comparisons. Fans believe that's why she repeatedly reminds people that she's building her own lane and not trying to become anyone else. And once discussions about fame, influence, and industry politics enter the picture, social media naturally takes the theories even further. Some insiders and fans continue wondering whether the entertainment world itself is helping fuel this rivalry narrative because controversy keeps both names trending online constantly. But at this point, this story feels way bigger than just Tyla and Rihanna. Rihanna once sang, "Want you to make me feel like I'm the only girl in the world." And now fans feel like the industry is creating a battle between a global icon and a rising superstar trying to build her own lane. The entertainment world has always thrived on competition narratives. From Nicki and Cardi to Beyoncé and Ciara, these debates keep people talking nonstop online. Now, Tyla versus Rihanna has become the newest global conversation, especially as Tyla represents a fresh wave of African artists breaking into the worldwide mainstream spotlight. Fans also know Rihanna's influence reaches far beyond music. Between fashion, beauty, and business, her impact is massive. That's why people keep speculating about how much power major stars really have behind the scenes when it comes to collaborations, partnerships, and industry opportunities. At the same time, many critics believe Tyla's team may have leaned too heavily into similarities that naturally invited nonstop Rihanna comparisons. Once audiences start connecting two artists that closely, it becomes difficult to separate their images in the public eye. And the timing only made the conversation louder. Rihanna hasn't released an album in years, while Tyla is already Grammy-winning, sitting front row at Paris Fashion Week and appearing at major global events with huge celebrities. Naturally, people started paying closer attention to every move. That's why this discussion became more than just fan drama. To many people, it's really about how the industry introduces new stars, while audiences compare them to established legends. And if an artist reminds people too much of a superstar before them, escaping those comparisons can become extremely difficult. For Tyla, the next chapter is all about building an identity that feels completely her own. Whether through a new sound, deeper storytelling, or a different creative direction, fans believe she has the chance to create a lane nobody can compare to Rihanna's. So now the big question is, will Tyla fully step out of Rihanna's shadow, or will these comparisons keep following her everywhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. Stay tuned to see what's on our radar next.